Good morning, everybody, and happy Friday. I hope that yesterday you received rest and that you are ready for the weekend. So, this is Patricia, and I want to welcome you to the dialogue. So, I named this the dialogue. As I talk to you, I'm pretty sure that you're going to have thoughts that may come up and you're going to think about it. It's going to feel like you're talking to yourself. And then you'll go and share this with someone else and you'll probably conversate about it. So even though you're not able to audibly respond to the content in the message, ultimately, as I speak to you, you will speak in reason in yourself, and then hopefully you will share it with someone else. So welcome to the dialogue. So this morning it is Friday. I love Fridays because it is the end of the week and it starts the weekend. And that is primarily what I want to talk to you about. Coming out of your transition, you have made it past the end and you are in your new beginning. So what I have been doing is I have been creating segments and content based off of the transition that I have recently been in. For some of us, our transition has been for years. I can honestly say that in 2010, I was given a vision with the end result in mind. However, I did not fully understand what the end would be, meaning where I am now, I did not see this 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I saw myself writing content for specific platforms. That is not where I am today. Does that mean it will never happen? Absolutely not. But I am reminded of the scripture of Jeremiah 29, where it says that he knows the plans that he has for us. He gives us an expected end. Okay, so that is what happened for me. He gave an expected end. It wasn't the end that I thought it would be. It was the end that he wanted for me. Okay, the job that I'm currently working, I am a chemical dependency counselor, which means that I work with people to navigate through substance and drug abuse. Did I see that for myself? Absolutely not. As I stated, I saw myself writing content, okay, especially in the place that I wanted to live. The place that I am now, they have the same first letter, but it's nowhere near where I determined myself to be. Okay, so I want to talk to some people who feel like their end, okay, and their new beginning is not what they saw, but you know it's where you're supposed to be, and you're navigating into new territory. So, your transition in life, and this is something that I'm learning, when you transition in life, you transition inwardly first, which means that you first transform. Now, for some of us, it has taken years for certain characteristics pertaining to character development to take place. You've had childhood issues, you have issues with friends and networking and people that you're not supposed to be around or were supposed to let go. You have issues in yourself that you can't get over, which causes you to self-sabotage. Okay, in your transformation, things occur inwardly: adversity, problems, chaos, and situations to ultimately show you who you are. So many times, so many people want to get to the end. They want the thing that they've been either petitioning for, praying for, expected for, but you're not that person that is ready to acquire those things. That is what the transition is for. It gets you ready and it gets you prepared for what's to come. Now, most people want to go from the beginning straight to the end. I have heard several people, many millionaires as well as business moguls, explain, enjoy the in-between. Okay? The in-between gets you to who you're meant to be, character, attributes that you're going to need to implement when you get to the new beginning. I'll give you a couple examples of some things that you may be going through right now that can show you what I mean as far as development, which ultimately helps you to become. When you become, then you can enter into, and experience the expected end. So you may work at a job and you are constantly making sure people are okay. You're making sure the employees are okay. You're making sure that the tone of the environment, facility, organization, or company is suitable for clients, for customers, for patients. Okay? So you do this on a daily basis. However, you are an employee at this time. But you continue to do it. You walk around, you make sure things are stocked and stacked. You try to offer help whenever it's possible, even to a person that is over you. And you may be discouraged right now because the person that's over you is not necessarily more qualified than you, but they have the position. Okay, so what does that say about you? You're developing the skill that you need in order to acquire the position. What is the position? Maybe you are meant to be a manager. Maybe you are meant to be a director. Maybe you are meant to be a CEO. Okay? So, but you have to develop the character, the know-how, and become familiar with the position that you're going to acquire so that when it's time for it to finally happen, you're already the person for the job. You know how you go on an interview and they feel like you're the person for the job and they hire you? How can you be the person for the job? However, when you go in for an interview, sometimes it's for jobs that you never even thought that you would do. You don't even know what type of systems or database they use for these jobs, but they feel like you're the person for the job. Honestly, I feel like anybody can be trained to learn anything. But character has to be developed before you get there. And it can also be developed while you're in the position and experiencing adversity and chaos. And I will be honest, a lot of times that is happening to try to remove you before you get in the position. So, the beginning, the middle, and the end. I've heard it say that you will understand the beginning of a thing at the end of a thing. How many of us have had to go through transition and it's taken us years to finally let it click and bring complete understanding to, oh, that's why this happened. Oh, that's why that took place. Oh, that's why this person walked away. Okay, now that makes sense why this person couldn't stay. That's also in your transition. You may lose things, you may lose people, you may lose houses and cars. For some, I want to touch on destiny really quick because there are so many people right now that I am talking to about destiny. Destiny is your ultimate of where you were always meant to be in your life. For me, I will explain something. I'm a chemical dependency counselor. That is not something that I've seen for myself. Primarily because drugs ravaged through my entire house. And I've lost dear relationships due to drugs. So ultimately, you would think that I don't want anything to do with drugs. I don't want to help anybody that has an issue with drugs. That's what you would think. But when I go to work, because I've experienced it personally, how drugs can remove people from your life. It can kill people. It can damage families and households and finances and everything. Now you see my passion and my purpose. When I go to work and I'm talking to the patients, I want them to make it home to their children. I want them to get their finances in order. So when you're on drugs, you can become homeless. I went through transiency for 9 years. You can lose your identity. I was in a relationship for a very long time with a narcissist. You can lose self-worth. You can lose possessions. You can lose yourself. And all of those areas are things that I lost and then had to gain myself back. Okay, now you understand at the end of a thing, me being here, I am helping these people gain back their self-worth, their respect, their honor and dignity, and more importantly, their identity, which leads to outward possessions and ultimately gaining their life back. Okay, so the beginning, you start out with a vision, you think it's going to go one way, and then it doesn't. The middle is chaotic. You seem like you're going this way or that way. You end up in a totally different career, totally different relationship. Okay, then right before you get to the new beginning, I'm going to be honest, there is something that's going to happen that is going to make you want to give up, want to quit. I did a message, it was called this, you will get strength in between. So we have all that. So now you are at, sorry, a train is going past. Now you are at your new beginning. You are at a place of restoration, which means that this is where you were always meant to be. This is what you were always meant to be doing. No, it didn't go the way that you expected. No, you don't have the same friends. No, you don't have the same companions. No, you don't have the same mindset. And that's what it was meant to do. The transition from the beginning to the end is meant to remove, reconnect, and change you as a person, ultimately to acquire the position of the person that you are meant to be, which is your character. So for a lot of us, so many of us are tired, exhausted, but you made it. You're at your new beginning. So I want to celebrate you today. And as the week ends Friday and Saturday starts, I want you to do something amazing for yourself. Celebrate yourself. If you have made it to the point of destiny, I want you to really look back over your journey and start to appreciate those low valleys and things that happened to you in the in between. I want you to thank the people that disappointed you, that hurt you, that wrote you off, that made you feel like nothing. I want you to be excited about what's to come. I want you to understand that nothing that happened to you was in vain. Yes, it hurt, but it worked. Nobody can take anything from you in a sense of character. I told somebody the other day, the greatest attribute that you can ever learn about yourself is your authentic identity, who you are, because no one can take that from you. And more often than not, our character, our identity, and who we are at our core is connected to God. And that is where He gets the most glory. So now you understand why things and people could stay, because those things ultimately would not have bought God glory, because it would have required you to be less of yourself, to dumb down. You would have felt inadequate, insignificant, and incapable of being and doing exactly what God ultimately called you to do. Some of you are in destiny and you don't even know it's destiny, but you just flow in it. You flow in it, and it feels like it was what you were always meant to do, and you know it because you feel at home. You have peace about it. You enjoy it. You can't wait to get to it. And instead of being drained from it, you actually get more energy because you have the fuel and motivation to do it, because it's what you're always meant to do. So you find motivation, you find a way to get rest. This is so amazing because this was definitely not the way that this conversation was going to go. I had a whole different message, and as I was moving along on my journey, my phone completely cut off, and I lost that message. And so it led me to do this message. but it's okay. So, some of you have made it to your destiny. You started out with one vision in mind and it's completely different, but you're where you're meant to be, and now here comes your new beginning. So, I want to encourage you because I know that at the end of the day, you're way more exhausted than when you're going through it. So, this is the weekend. Now that you have crossed over, you're at your new beginning. I would like for you to do some self-care, have some quiet time, do some time of reflection, and just celebrate the fact that you made it. That you made it. So this is Patricia. Thank you so much for tuning into the dialogue. I will be recording more podcasts to help you identify where you are at in your life. I hope you have an amazing day. Don't forget to do something for yourself. Have a good one, everybody. Hello, everybody. It is Patricia Tomlinson, and I want to welcome you to the dialogue. So, today is Friday, and I love Fridays because it is the end of the week, and we start the weekend. For some of us, we get the weekend off. For others, they have to go back to work. And some others that don't have to work, it still feels like they're working because they have so much to do on the weekend to catch up from the week. However, I want to talk about the word, the beginning. The beginning. So most people think that the Sabbath is actually on a Sunday, and the Sabbath is actually on a Saturday. And I actually love this because on Saturdays, it just gives me an opportunity to lounge around, to rest, to regroup, to just have some self-love, some self-care implemented to prepare me for the week, which is Monday. And so when I do that on Saturday, I'm not overwhelmed or extremely tired on Sunday and don't want to go back to work on Monday because I took Saturday to start the weekend early in order to rest. And so I am excited about the beginning. So I am literally taking you guys on my journey as I ended a thing. I went through the transition, which means to come out of something, and then the in between, which is also the transition, and then right before you get to the new beginning, of course, we know there is going to be a lot of friction, a lot of tension, a lot of chaos, adversity, and things that happen to distract you from your new beginning. However, as it being Friday, the end of the week, I finally feel like I made it to my new beginning. For some of us, we've been in transition for years. If I could be honest with you, my transition started in 2010 when I went through 9 years of transiency, which was used to develop me, heal me, ultimately make me closer to God. Because a lot of times when you don't have things or you don't have a lot of materialistic things or a lot of people there, the number one person that you depend on is God. And this is why sometimes I say that in your low place or in my low place, it was a blessed place because God still showed himself in those places. And it was more apparent and I could see it more clearly because I didn't have all the distractions of the house, the car, the friends. I mean, let's be honest now. God wants to be our number one priority, our number one source, and then everything is an extension from that. So in the low place, like I said, in the valley, even though it was difficult because there were some things that I wish that I would have had, I'm glad that I didn't. I'm glad that I didn't because it taught me how to keep him on the mountain. It taught me how to keep him when he started bringing promotion and bringing materialistic things and bringing a car and bringing a house and bringing the desires of my heart. Now it is more critical because I don't want to not only lose my blessings, I don't want to lose God. And so for some of us, our transition has been to find God, ultimately to find ourselves. And I was talking to a friend the other day, and I said, the greatest possession that you can ever have is your identity. Because no matter who leaves, or what decides to stay, even though it's not meant to, when you know your identity, that's one thing people can't take from you. One thing that is so critical to your inner man, that you know who you are, not what you do, not the job that you do. Those are just titles and roles, but at the core, who are you? That more or less deals with your character. What makes you? For me, I can honestly say that I'm highly motivated. I don't need a cheerleader. I don't need people to tell me, okay, you need to pay your bills. You need to take care of your home. You need to take care of all the things that you have acquired. That is an innate ability in me since I've been a little girl. I've always liked to clean and cook and situate and arrange and manage things. So it's not who I am. Those are things that I do. But when you do them, it can show you your character. So what if your transition, your new beginning, was to show you the newness of who you really are meant to be? Now I'm going to give you a couple pointers, and then I'm going to let you go because it's Friday and I don't want to hold you all day. Number one, the way that you can determine who you are is by the adversity that comes to your life. I'll give an example. For women that date men and they cook and they clean and they know how to support and they know how to help. However, if a person puts you in a position to where you're the side girlfriend or you're just a friend, that's not necessarily who you are, but the things that you do can actually show you who you are. Meaning some of those things are what a wife would do. A wife would cook, a wife would clean, a wife would support, a wife would advocate, a wife would be a companion and a friend. She would even be a counselor because we know that a wife is a helper. Okay? So, let's take it a step deeper. At your job, you have someone over you, but you're helping do their job. You're helping things maintain order. You're walking around making sure that the other employees are okay and having a good day. You are making sure that patients, clients, or customers are satisfied, that the facility or the organization or the company is at a level of performance that is good for the clients. Maybe you're an employee now, but could that mean that you're a manager? So the character for that would be that you're effective, you're time oriented, you're good with maintenance. What you do can show you who you are. I'll take it even deeper. You're despised, you're hated. People are jealous of you and envious. You go through different seasons and transitions where it seems like people are there and then all of a sudden it's nobody there and it's just you navigating territory.